Is that you?
Speaking of Invincible, we both finished and watched Invincible.
Yes.
General thoughts, bro. What do you feel about Invincible?
I think the character himself he need some fighting lessons.
Okay.
Because that man is anything but invincible.
Yeah.
The show itself actually was thoroughly surprised by.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be that good.
Real good. Kind of blew me back. I'm like, oh, this shit real good.
Yeah.
It's definitely what I love about it is that, like, how Robert Kirkman-fied it is. If that's it's a word now.
It's not afraid to get dark.
Yeah, it's not afraid to get that dark, gruesome,
explode your face.
Yes. I like that. I like that a lot about this show. So if you haven't seen Invincible, skip ahead because we're gonna talk about Invincible a little bit. Man. So the first episode, it had me.
Oh, okay.
It had me.
I mean, the first episode was good though.
Yeah, it was real good. All of it was real good. Yeah. But it did. It had me like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. The ending of the first episode really made me like, what? What is happening here?
Wait a minute.
That's not what I was expecting.
Were you like me? Did you feel like it was mind control?
I knew something else was going on, but what is going on, what we found out in the final episode is exactly what I actually said it was. I was like, yo, what if this is what it is?
Yeah, I didn't figure that out until like the third episode.
That made sense though. Once you kind of thought about it, it was like, yeah, because we got certain responsibilities that other people don't. What responsibilities you got, man?
Exactly. So it took me a while, but man, holy shit. I feel like this was like one of those shows that came out of nowhere and definitely like flew up the charts. Like there's no other place this could be other than Amazon Prime or like HBO Max or some shit. For one. I
had no idea what this show was until it released. And then I saw a lot of hype for it and I was skeptical about watching it. I wasn't going to watch it because I've been tired of watching shows that people hype up. And they're just not good. But nah, thoroughly surprised. Turned this on. It was good. And the progression of things didn't seem bad. Like a lot of shows that have like less than 12, 24 episodes, sometimes the progression is just so bad that it actually ruins the show for me. But this one didn't do that. With 8 episodes, it made everything flowed well. And it could be the fact that everything was like 45 minutes long. That's exactly so it kind of fit everything into place. But I guess I'll talk about that more when we get to Yasuke. But I preferred this storytelling and its time frame in comparison to others with like similar ranges, but like 30 minutes or something.
Bro, it was so perfectly paced that I felt like a part of the world as it grew on. Like the episodes didn't feel too bloated or anything like that, like some shows do. It didn't feel like it was missing anything. I felt like, how the fuck? How are they going to do this in 8 episodes? Was my thought, and then they did it. Like
they did it.
The story progressed, and it was flawless. I love. What do you think about that Amber character? Because on Twitter, she's getting a lot of hate about who she is and what she's about, which I don't understand. But
there's a couple of things, right? So like, I get why people are frustrated with her. Because of the whole fact that she knows Mark is a superhero and yet she still, through the hissy fits and stuff she had, it's like, literally, ma'am, I was almost dead and you were like, where did you go? Ma'am, you knew I was a superhero or thought I was a superhero at this point and you asked me, where did I go? I was getting my ass stomped.
Yeah.
Or I was saving the world. But those are the only things, like, her character itself, like who she was to me, was very interesting because she wasn't like a pushover. But I think that's what sold it to me, that like it wasn't necessarily bad that she didn't understand that why he didn't tell her, because she was like, she showed from the beginning that like, look, I'm not soft. Dude tried to punk me and tried to punk you, and I'm not afraid to fight back, right? So she gave like kind of her like ground in the beginning, was like, this is what I am. So I can kind of understand why they made her that way. I didn't like that she kind of came back on her words at the end and was like, yo, I'm sorry, and then gave him that hook at the end. I was like, nah, I kind of feel like this ain't necessary.
So, I'm with you. Like you said, I agree. I see why people are mad. Hear me out. When I say that, I mean like she, quote unquote, knew for a couple of weeks. When she got upset with him, and it's because of the fact that he felt like she wasn't worthy enough to know. So that's what pissed her off about the whole damn thing. Like every time he skipped out on something like that, she was just trying to initially get him to tell her the truth, which would then make it feel like, okay, see, now you trust me. Now I can give you my all because you gave me your all. So I think she was pissed off about that. And that's what they tried to explain, but they didn't do a great job of explaining that part of her character, because her, like you said earlier, her character is all about being this strong, capable woman. So like with him knowing that, he should know that I can tell her this and she will be, supportive of that. When she came back, she really felt like she was going to lose him. Like he was going to die. So
right.
That I do understand why she came back like that. Like I'm about to lose it. Yeah. Like he was literally about to die. So like, I mean, that's more understandable, even though we don't want that because we want him to be with Eve, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's completely understandable why she decided. Like, and that's what I like about Robert Kirkman's writing, is because it's so grounded that you gotta kind of think around some of the stuff. And I think the way they established her character kind of helped with that, even though it wasn't as obvious. So
there was a specific moment in this show that I wanted to talk about too. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about this with Monique, because Monique, that last episode, she said she almost couldn't watch it. She said it was a little bit just too much for her. And I get it, right? That fight between Invincible and Omni-Man was intense as fuck.
Yeah, it made me wince a little bit.
The part that really got me was, I think the part that got a lot of people, was the train scene.
Yes.
Where he grabs Invincible by the back of the head and just holds his face to the train as he stands there floating in the air and letting the train just blow up and crash into them and watch everyone die.
Kids,
and then you just see the tears fall down Invincible's eyes, and you're just like, shit.
Yeah.
What happened there?
It was heavy.
And I've seen a comparison to that specific scene. And do you remember the Call of Duty mission, No Russian?
Oh, absolutely. Never forget No Russian.
So I'm like, I can kind of see the relation there, because 100%. It was a complete overkill show of force.
Yep.
Like everything Omni-Man did there. Like, and here's my thing, right? As if I put myself in the seat of a Viltrumite, I kind of understand why Omni-Man did what he did. But living 30 years on Earth, you still think of your wife as a pet, like that's a little hard, bro. Like I was like,
yeah, but if 30 years is literally a trickle
of time,
a trickle out,
probably already hundreds of years old,
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. Like it, and again, the show does a great job of explaining this. Like when he went to that other world and destroyed that entire alien race, basically that kept invading Earth and kept dying because of the time situation. When he went there, he was gone for months and months and months, but like it didn't affect him.
I was gonna say, I think they also said though, like that time zone, that area they live in is like no time, like they don't age at all.
Yeah, past a certain point, it's just like you stay the same age essentially forever. It's crazy. It's crazy to even think about, because again, if 30 years is like a couple minutes to you, why would you give a fuck?
And you're right, he shouldn't. And then like also his goal is the grand scheme of like reestablishing his alien race, right? And I'm like, I get that, and it's still hard, bro. It's still hard.
Yeah, but I talked about this with Gates. I told him, I'm like, to me, he felt like he was more like Thanos, I'm like, nah, because Thanos was a little bit more reasonable with his ideologies. Yeah. Like his ideologies made more sense to me. He's more like Omni-Man is more like fucking Frieza. Like if you don't get behind what we have, like what we have planned, then we're just gonna destroy your world. Like that was essentially Frieza. So it's like,
but Frieza was also a little bit more evil. Frieza didn't have that reason, and Frieza was just like, I'm stronger than you, I'll kill you. But that it should
or enslave you.
That Omni-Man isn't even the strongest of them. Yeah. And now we know from the one-eyed alien dude that they might be pulling up anyway.
Yep.
Since Omni-Man's not there, now we have to worry about the rest of the Viltrumites saying, okay, well, we didn't get what we planned. Now we got to come do what we came to do anyway.
So bad news and good news. We know that it's going to at least last 2 seasons.
Well, so, it's got 3 seasons.
Yeah, 2 more seasons is what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I said it's bad news, because they should have announced the 3rd season. They should have just gave us the 2nd season and then announced the 3rd season after that, just so we wouldn't know that there's more to this shit. Because if they would have came through, if they pulling up in the 2nd season, we wouldn't know what like it could be the end, you know. But they got a 3rd, so we'll see what that's about. You know what else I liked about this? 2 things. The fucking voice acting was phenomenal.
Agree.
Incredible. And the music was real good in this fucking show.
I seen complaints about the animation for this, and I'm like, it looks like any other comic book animated series to me. And if anything, like it might have had a couple of better moments.
Mm-hmm. You could tell the budget was a little bit higher, but like it's just Batman or the Justice League art style, pretty much, or animation style.
The sound design, though, like the music and the explosions, and when I remember they was fighting the seismic dude and the earthquakes and that kind of stuff, all that shit was great, bro. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. And I guess America, we do a pretty decent job of sound design. Mm-hmm. Not always good, but we do a pretty decent job of sound design on our like animated series. So this one didn't drop the ball at all.
I enjoy the actual like literal soundtrack. Like there was a soundtrack attached to this cartoon, which is dope, which is not normal in anime. It's like the soundtrack was created for the show in anime, but in cartoons, it was literally just like a collab of people coming together and creating actual songs that are just like legit fire. So
yeah. If very few anime with soundtracks, with Parasite the Maxim being only one of the few I can think of.
Those are actual songs?
Yeah, they got like a 13 song track list.
Sick. Dope. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu Waifu.